Okay, welcome to my introduction class and the lecture on the design of machine members 2. Let me introduce about myself. This is Jagdish Kumar and working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Lendi Institute of Engineering Technology. And in this video, I will cover the importance of the design before producing of any component. And basically, the design of machine elements already covered in previous semester, but now we will learn some more important application oriented elements that to be designed, and I will discuss in detail in further. Okay, so before going to start the class, and we must know what definition of machine design. A machine design is defined as the use of scientific principles, technical information, and imagination in the description of a machine or a mechanical system to perform a specific function with maximum economy and efficiency. The subject machine design is the creation of the new and better machines and improved existing one. A new or better machine is one which is more economical and an overall cost of the production is to be operation cost to be reduced. The process of design is a long and time consumable one. So from the study of the existing ideas, a new idea has to be convinced. The design idea is then studied keeping in the mind its commercially success and given the shape of the form in the form of drawing. In the preparation of these drawings, care must be to be taken to availability of resources in money, in man, and in material required for the successful completion of a new idea into actual reality. In designing a machine component, it is necessary to have a good knowledge of many subjects such as mathematics, engineering mechanics, strength of materials, theory of machines, workshop processes, and engineering drawing. I think these are the prerequisites for completing the successfully completion of this new subject. And coming to the next important slide, that is features of machine design. Yes, the ultimate aim is to design a convinced, satisfied, recognized need of a customer. So before going to do this, what what a designer must have, I mean, features must have. So what kind of features are going to be discussed? The designer has the technical information of basic elements of a machine. The elements include fastening devices, chain, belt, gear drives, bearings, oil sealings and gaskets, springs, shafts, keys, couplings, etc. and so on. A machine is a combination of these basic elements. The designers know the relative advantages, disadvantages of these elements and their suitability in different applications. The designer uses skill and imagination to produce a configuration which is a basic combination of these basic elements. The final outcome of the design process consists of description of the machine. The description is in the form of drawing of an assembly and individual component. So design is to be created to satisfy the recognition of the need of the customer. That is the ultimate aim. So that is about the most important one. And how this course is useful to the student. Of course, it is the most desirable question for any students. What is the reason to learn this subject? And of course, it is the part of the syllabus. Apart from that, if student wish to study MTech or further courses, this subject is very important and it is a prerequisite for um, subjects like tribology, advanced mechanism, etc. And also it is useful to continue to learn some bits in GATE also. You know GATE. To gain the better knowledge, to feel like a real engineer, you must opt this subject. I mean, you must understand the subject. Since the machine element design is the application stage after the theory of engineering mechanics, solid mechanics, theory of machines, theory of values, etc., I will say this is the crucial stage of the connecting the dots. All that you learned in the previous courses might have come out an arbitrary and dispersed. But this is the stage where you recognize those patterns in a system and apply those concepts. It is like an archaeologist stepping into the pyramids. It is a fascinating stuff. So my advice would be the first recall the theory part in case you have forgotten. And that is to say, get your tools ready, else you will lose the patience interest as you can't recall in the middle of the problems. So you don't want to go all the way back to your research lab to go and the tools. Now find a quiet place like your home or a peaceful place and go with a better environment, atmosphere, and then start decoding your inspirations and recall your subject. Then the subject will be more beautiful and easily, more easy. To understand the important tips and what exactly machine design or a mechanical design is, let us consider the example of a gearbox. The gearbox transmits the motion and the power of an engine to the wheels of the vehicle. The gearbox comprises the group of gears which are subjected to not only motion but also the load of the vehicle. For the gears to run at desired speeds and take desired loads, it's important that they should be designed. During designing, various calculations are performed considering the desired speeds and loads and finally the gears of the particular material and specific dimension that can be take all loads and that can be manufactured at least possible cost giving optimum performance is designed. In similar fashion, all the components of the car include engine have to be designed so that they optimally met all the functional requirements at the lowest possible cost. That is the theory behind in it and the importance behind in it to learn this subject. Unit number one, bearings. You know what is the use of a bearing? A bearing is a device which reduces the friction and allows the allows the motion, relative motion between them. So the object of this unit is to learn the different types of bearings and their life protection. The outcome means after completion of this unit, a student must import the selection of the suitable bearing depends upon the application can calculate the life of the bearing. Okay, that is the unit number one. In unit number one, if you go briefly, we are going to learn about the classification of the bearing. Mainly bearings are two types we can categorize. One is sliding, another one is rolling. So, and we are going to learn the application, types of bearings, lubrication between them, and the heat dissipation and heat generation of the bearings and the full design of the bearing, and while considering the static and dynamic motions and the life of the bearing. So this is the broad syllabus of the unit number one. After completion of the unit, you came to know the beauty of this unit. That is unit number one. Coming to unit number two. See, when coming to unit number two, basically we know about IC engine and their parts, but we don't know how they are designed. What kind of consideration we are going to be take before going to manufacture those parts. You know, an engine parts under a lot of temperature, they work under a lot of pressure, of gas pressure. So the design of the particular parts must be very careful and care to be taken by considering all the factors acting on it. So this is the most important unit and you feel like a real design engineer while designing those components. So engine have a lot of parts, but in this unit we are going to learn about cylinder, piston, connecting rod and crankshaft. So after completion of the unit, a student can able to design different engine parts like cylinder, piston, connecting rod and crankshaft. Right? That is unit number two. Coming to unit number three, it's coming to unit number three. As of course, this is the unit we are going to learn about beams, but it is a curved beams. We already covered beams in mechanics of solids, but there is a difference between this curved beams and a regular beam. Say for example, this is an example for a curved beam. See, you can see a beam which is in a shape of curvature. You see, the cross section of the beam may be a rectangular, circular, I section, a T section, whatever. So depends upon the structure, the stresses will be will be different. I mean, depends upon the cross section, the strength of the beam will be different. The application of the curved beam is best example is a crane hook. See, a crane hook in the shape of curvature where the loads are going to be carried here. So you can see, so the loads might be applied at here, W. See, so the stresses are distributed throughout this C section. So the shape of the section is curvature. The cross section may be any section, maybe rectangle, circular, or I section or T section. See, here we are going to get some different two types of stresses. One is this is compressive stress and this is tensile stress. So the combination of stresses may be acted on a curvature of the beam. See, the stress curvature, see how it is changing. So outermost stress to innermost stress. So in this unit we are going to learn the design of a curved beam, right? That is about this unit. Coming to unit number 4. In unit number 4 we are going to learn about the power transmission systems like pulleys and different types of belt drives, rope drives, chain drives, etc. And also we are going to learn the power screws. So what is the objective to learn this? Why we should learn this? That's the first question. So the objective is very simple: to design, to learn the design concepts of power transmission elements like belt drives, rope drives, and chain drives, etc. Of course, power screws. The outcome is, after completion of this unit, you should able to design a pulley by considering all the loads acting on a belt drive or a rope drive or a chain drive. Also, you can understand the principle of power transmission while using a power screw. The best example is the application is a screw jack. See, while you are going on a vehicle, if tire going to be punctured, it is very difficult to lift that huge weight using a manual effort. So in that case we are using a screw jack. By simply turning a mechanism, so called lever, you are going to lift the entire vehicle very easily. So by means of a simple human effort we are going to lift the huge weight that improves the mechanical advantage. So that is a suitable example for a power screw. So we are going to learn that design of power screw for a different field of interest and different fields of applications, right? That is unit number 4. Coming to unit number 5. In unit number 5, we are going to learn about different types of gears. We already know what is a gear mechanism, what kind of gears are available. But in this unit, we are going to learn about the gear under failures. I mean, design of two different types of gears. One is spur gear, another one is helical gear. So in this design, we are going to consider load concentration factor, dynamic load concentration factor, surface compressive strength, and design analysis of a spur gear, estimation of the central distance, module, phase width. By checking the plastic deformation, we are going to analyze whether the gears are under suitable condition to use it, or we are going to also check the dynamic and wear consideration while adapting a gear system to any components. So that is the main syllabus for the design of the gears. So after completion of the unit, you are able to design a gear by considering all the factors, right? The applications are very simple. In you are going to use in instruments, lifts or elevators and material handling system, automobile steering mechanism, etc, etc. That is about unit number 5. Coming to unit number 6, here we are going to learn different types of levers. You know, levers are useful to reduce the effort, to increase the mechanical advantage. We are going to design so many types of levers like hand lever, central lever, crank lever, lever loaded safety valve, rocker arms, right angular levers, and crank pin levers, brackets, hangers, etc. So the main applications are you can use in a brake systems, or you can use this is in levers like foot levers or hand levers, etc.